to Pete and Hannah's Watch List. I'm your host, Pete Mitchell. I'm here with my great co-host, Hannah.
Hello, people.
Hannah, we're here today for AFI Top 100 10-Year Revisited. But before we begin, let us tell the viewers and the listeners what they should do.
Pretty please leave a like and subscribe to our channel. Leave a comment down below any of your feedback, good or bad, your favorite movies so far on this list. Tell us.
Hit the notification button and you'll get great content like this one. On today's show, we're reviewing number 52.
52.
It's going fast.
That's true.
Have you an idea for what
Almost
we're doing
halfway.
next?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
Almost halfway.
Oh, that's right. Taxi Driver.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get on to today's show.
I don't have De Niro, the De Niro mole.
Oh, you don't have the Duramol?
The
Oh, my God.
face. I can't do the face.
That is gold. Hannah.
Yeah.
Taxi Driver was released February 8th, 1976. Now, that year might be familiar to you.
Yeah, we've heard it once or twice.
We've done it with All the President's Men,
Yes.
Network,
Yep.
and Rocky.
Yeah, I know. Wow. This
Wow.
year
What a
is-
year.
Yeah, it's actually,
Yeah.
someone say one of the best.
It is. It is one of the
Maybe it
best. It is. Yeah, for top end stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say
We'll go
top
through,
end.
we'll go through
I
box
don't
office
know.
again because we've done it before, but we'll go through it again. This movie was budgeted for 1.9, made 28.6, directed by Martin Scorsese, starring Robert De Niro. The writer of this movie was Paul Schrader, and Paul Schrader has written Raging Bull. It has...
Yep.
He's written Raging Bull. He's written the City Hall.
Yep.
He did First Reform. Great director. Did American Gigolo. Richard
Oh,
Gere.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, for sure. So they met through a great friend of Martin Scorsese's, Brian De Palma. And Brian Palma directed Untouchables.
Yes.
Yeah, and like Carrie and all those movies. So they met, they discussed what was going on in the United States at the time. They based it on an assassination attempt on George Wallace, also an assassination attempt on Gerald Ford.
Yes.
And they come up with the story of Travis Bickle.
This character, yeah.
The elevator pitch for this movie of Travis Bickle is a newly formed taxi driver and he's going around the streets of New York and he descends into madness.
Yeah.
Okay.
One short day.
One short day. Martin Scorsese. We have already had one of his movies on the list in Goodfellas. In my opinion, that is a far superior movie to this one.
It's a way more enjoyable film.
And yeah, he's had Raging Bull, he's had Casino, he's had The Irishman recently, and he's had Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah,
one of your favourites?
No. One of yours. He continues to be one of those prolific directors.
This movie goes for 114 minutes, and we watched it via renting it. It's on POV, but it's not available on a streaming service.
No.
It was released by Columbia Pictures. Let's go through 1976 in film. We did this for Rocky, but you got Star is Born, King Kong, Silver Street, All the President's Men, The Omen, The Bad News Bears, The Enforcer, In Search of Noah's Ark, and Midway. So a pretty good year in film. So let's have a look at the characters that are involved in this movie.
Yeah.
Robert De Niro as Travis Bickle. He already had won an Academy Award for Godfather Part 2.
Yes.
And he worked with many great directors, and this is the first time we worked with Martin Scorsese, and then they end up working together.
Yeah, they have a partnership now.
Jodie Foster
so.
plays Iris Stensman, and she's only 12 years old when she made this movie filming.
Oh.
Yeah. We've seen Jodie Foster already on the list for Silence of the
Blank.
Lambs.
Thank you. I would have blanked.
Sybil Shepherd stars as Betsy. We've seen her on the list already.
Yeah, Last Picture Show.
Harvey Keitel. He worked with Martin Scorsese on Mean Streets.
Okay.
He plays Matthew Sport Higgins as the pimp of Iris.
Yep.
You got Albert Brooks as Tom. Albert Brooks is a famous comedian, writer, comedy director some of the best comedy movies. One of my favourite Albert Brooks movies is Broadcast News.
Yeah.
Great movie. Starts with Holly Hunter and William Hurt in that movie. Directed by Albert Brooks. James L. Brooks.
James L. Brooks.
James Brooks, who was
Who's Simpsons.
Yeah, Simpsons character.
Simpsons.
Yeah. What else we got? Leonard Harris as the Senator Charles Palantine. You got Peter Boyle, who was the Frankenstein's monster in Young Frankenstein.
Oh.
Martin Scorsese plays a pivotal role in this movie as well. And yeah, you got some great actors in here.
Cast.
So I already talked about how they sort of came up with the idea of this movie, but Robert De Niro wasn't the first choice for Travis Bickle. Actually, it was Dustin Hoffman, but he thought Scorsese was crazy. He also was offered to Al Pacino and Jeff Bridges, but Robert
When someone thinks you're crazy, that's interesting.
Robert De Niro, famous method actor, he prepared for this movie.
You can tell
by going to the army, and he also read the diaries of criminal Arthur Bremen.
Okay.
When he had
I get you get into the idea of the role.
Yeah.
That makes sense, but would have been pretty messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. It'd be pretty messed up.
It's messed up. It's messed up. They've worked together so many times now. Like they worked together after this with Raging Bull.
Yes.
They worked together with the King of Comedy, New York. They also
I swear it's almost
Godfellas.
Like I feel like it's every movie afterwards.
Yeah.
Bar like just a few.
When it's not him, it's Leonardo
DiCaprio.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of people consider this as their best movie together. I really like Goodfellas personally, but yeah, it's just me.
Yeah.
Okay, Hen. The IMDb has this at 8.2. Rotten Tomatoes is at 89, and Letterboxd is 4.2. This is a huge film road movie.
No, it's massive,
Yeah.
and you can tell.
And you can see that this movie is used in so much pop culture moments.
Yeah,
and stuff like that. The famous scene in Neighbours where he's like, are you talking to me?
You're talking to me. Like, I did not know anything about this film. I just know the character.
Great Simpsons with Mo Sizzler.
Yeah, I just know the type. I just didn't know the actual idea in this film.
So the look of Robert De Niro with the
the mohawk and the green jacket.
100%.
Yeah.
Critics at the time, they did not like the ending.
I guess.
The fact that he became a hero at the end of the movie.
But that's how...
But doing research, I researched this by listening to the audio commentary.
Yeah.
And Paul Schrader says that he actually isn't the hero. The media made him out to be a hero. And sometimes the media makes people out to be heroes that aren't heroes.
Yeah.
And that's just the start of his story.
This is America.
He's not finished. And you can see that in the little prologue scene that he is not finished. He's not...
No, it's this... it almost fuels him so much so to continue on with his behaviour.
Every week on the channel, we do Hottie Hot Takes.
Yeah, we do.
And this week, we did a clickbait segment and we talked about what to watch or miss from the month of October.
Yeah.
Hannah, what is your Hottie Hot Take for the movie Taxi Driver?
That I still find it's crazy that a movie from this time period is still relevant to today's society. That there are still people like this that are identical to this character.
Yeah.
It's absolutely mind-boggling. Like, we haven't actually... It doesn't matter how much the world tries to pivot. Mm-hmm. It's the same. It's the exact same. Yeah. Because you have these... You have people who think the world in a certain way, and then when it doesn't go their way, they take it in their own hands.
It's probably actually worse now than it was back then, because...
Well, we try to hide it, a part of it.
These people are just seeing all they want on social media.
Yeah.
And...
No, because we're being, there's now fuel for it.
Yeah.
Because beforehand, it's like a one-man army.
Yeah.
You'd have to meet up with people with the same mind as you. Now it's like the world is your oyster. There's literally the top podcasts on like Spotify are like massive like white ring and like dude bros just talking and smack and it's,
like in this movie, like he is thinking about crime like all those guys are doing now.
He wants to clean up the streets like he can do it.
It's a one-man army.
And, you know, when you put in the context of, like, a superhero, it's a different vibe.
And he's, like, trying to save the 12-year-old Iris and stuff like that.
Yeah, but he's still being a creep and a weirdo. He's an incel. And I don't know. It's just, it's crazy. I never, ever have watched this movie, but then watching it now, I'm like, oh, wow, their society still the same. Still broke. It ain't broke. It's still broke, and it won't be fixed.
My hot take is, and it's a good time we bring up the 49th Oscars. Is it the best ever? Now you have a look at these movies. Like, so actor Peter Finch won it for Network. Robert De Niro was nominated. Gianni was Seven Beauties. William Holden for Network, and Rocky Sylvester Stallone. Actors in the supporting role: Jason Robards, loved him. Ned Beatty Network. Burgess Meredith, we thought for Rocky he should have won. Laurence Olivier for Marathon Man, and Burt Young for Rocky. Then you got Faye Dunaway, Talia Shire, Sissy Spacek for Carrie, who we were talking about. Brian Palmer was working on that movie. Liv Ullmann, Face to Face. Then you got actress in a supporting role: Beatrice Straight for Network, Jane Alexander for All the President's Men, Jodie Foster for Taxi Driver. 12-year-old Jodie Foster.
Yep.
Lee Grant for Voyage of the Dan, and Piper Laurie for Carrie. And then, like, if you go down to directing, Rocky won for John G. Alverson. Then you got Pakula, a legend. Ingrid Bergman, a legend.
Oh,
Sidney Lumet for directing. And then Lena Wordman for Seven Beauties. Scorsese didn't even get nominated for Taxi Driver.
It is crazy. I do find, because even though... you know, we'll get into it. I'm not a fan of this film. I think it is really stunning work.
Well, the Best Picture nominees were Rocky, All the President's Men, Bound for Glory, Network, and Taxi Driver.
Yeah.
What a...
And I'm still glad Rocky won.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've seen most of the movies and I'm like, yeah, I'm glad Rocky won.
I reckon it'd go Rocky, All the President's Men, Network, and Taxi Driver for me. That'd be my order.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Same.
But I enjoyed Network. I really liked that movie. And that is like poignant to what's going on now. Yeah.
That's the worst.
And then like All the President's Men, still poignant to...
And you know what, Rocky? Still lovable.
Yeah.
Still lovable.
Yeah, like the underdog story, you know, like...
Oh, everyone loves the underdog.
Man, like those movies, that's how you know movies work, is when they still resonate like 50 years later. We're coming up to the 50th anniversary
and
of
it's
these
crazy
movies.
that those movies, like, they're all nominated and stuff, and we're struggling to pick which movies are going to get nominated this year.
Yeah.
This year it's like there are big movies, but that's
like,
do they deserve to be...
Gladiator 2 comes through.
Do they deserve to be up there?
Yeah.
Oh, imagine.
Oh, well. Okay. Let us know your thoughts on our clickbait segment. Before we get on to the Peter and Hannah's review, let's go through to scene breakdown. So this movie starts with Travis Bickle. He's struggling to sleep, and so he decides to go get a job at becoming a taxi driver. And then he picks up the job, and he's a former Marine. He's working 6 to 6, or sometimes 6 to 8. He's working 6 days a week, sometimes 7. He's writing in a journal. He's still struggling to sleep. And then when he's not driving taxis around in the roughest, toughest area of New York City, he's
watching
people, or he's going to see porno films. Like that's his.
His MO.
And then like, I don't know, like you see a couple of interactions that he has with women. One with like the person that sells candy at the cinema.
No, he's a creep.
It's really off-putting how he's asking just like simple questions of like, what's your name and stuff.
It's like he has no social barometer.
No.
Like he's never interacted with humans before. So to speak.
Yeah. So you slowly seeing him descend into this like just basically a void of a person, isn't he? He's like a shadow. He's like a shadow. So you get he's like taking people around the city, and he's like he talks about how like people have no respect for property. He has crime is just out of control. He has to clean the back seat of like blood and other things. Like he's
finding the city to be disgusting.
Yeah.
Like, guy, just get out.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
But yeah,
he's like, hopefully there's...
He's like, I want to clean up.
Yeah.
I want someone to clean up.
Hopefully there's a storm that's going to clean up everything,
yeah,
you know?
I know?
Thank God for the water, the recent rain, that it's washed away the dirt and the scum off the streets.
I want it to,
Hopefully there's like a permanent storm.
Yeah.
Then he sees like a lady that's working for a senator. Senator, is it Palpatine? No,
I have no idea.
That's Emperor Palpatine.
That's Chancellor.
Yeah, it's Chancellor. Palatine, I think his name is. And he is running for president, and she's working, and you get her interaction with the office with the Albert Brooks character, and that's played by the great Sybil Shepherd. So her name's Betsy, and she's like, you know, she's like having a good time, but she sees this guy in a cab, just locking eyes.
Yeah, he's like, this woman's attractive. I like her.
Yeah. So he's following her around, and then one day he comes into the office, and he's dressed up in like a...
red suit.
Yeah, red suit, and he's got like a...
weird tie.
Weird tie. Like, I think it's a good time, because this mirrors like the Joker, like from a few years ago.
The Joker was mirroring Scorsese.
Yeah, well, Scorsese was executive producer on the Joker, and it was sort of like an homage, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a love letter to his films and these character types where you don't get to see many of them.
So
nowadays.
this gives really a lot of Joker vibes.
Yeah.
This like,
and
especially
I didn't
this
like
scene.
that film.
Yeah, you did like that film. This gives a lot of that in this scene as well.
Yeah.
Like, and then Albert Brooks' character, he sort of like rushes him out the first time, and then the second time, no, let me talk to her. And then so he talks to her and he says like, would you like to go on a date? Just go for coffee and cake. So the first date goes okay, and then the next time, he brings her a painting, like an oil painting.
Yeah, which is fine.
Yeah, and then
she's fine.
And then he starts taking her on a date, and then the date is to a porno film.
Yeah,
and then she lasts for like a minute.
Yeah, and then he's
sort of like he's falling asleep. He's like,
I'm fine.
Yeah, and then she's like, what are you taking me?
Like he has no idea that that's not what you do.
Yeah. And then at the time, the senator actually was in his cab, and then he sort of like freaks the senator out a little bit for things that he's saying and stuff.
Yeah, no, it's like majorly he's giving weird vibes. Like the senator was being kind of like senator niceness.
Yeah. I find the best way to get to know people is in cabs. Yeah. I don't like catching
limos, you know, the everyman kind of thing.
So, you know, he's interacted with his fellow taxi drivers, and one of them has offered him a gun.
Yeah, to protect himself.
And so he has taken up on that, and so he ends up like getting a shoulder arm. He gets a small gun on the side.
He gets several.
He gets a gun that comes out of his sleeve. He gets a big knife on his boot. He's like practicing.
He is
like, as soon as Betsy sort of broken up with him, he has like taken a long walk off a short pier.
He's like, eh.
Yeah. And then he's like seeing Harvey Keitel interact with Iris.
Yeah.
And he's not happy with that at all.
Yeah, no.
He gets like a $20 tip.
I think also what influenced him to buy the gun was also in an earlier scene. He has an interaction with a husband that sees his wife, and he's like, I'm going to take her out.
Yeah.
And I think he just like takes on that persona idea of like, oh, when a woman does scorn you, it's time to call it.
Yeah,
and because like at the start he's like, I don't want a gun, I don't really need one, and then it's like, she broke up with me, I want a gun now.
Yeah,
it's that kind of, he's like, whatever happens in his cab ride seems to kind of come off him, like he's like learning social behaviors through whatever he's dealing with.
Yeah, it's like through osmosis, like it's coming through his skin.
It's scary.
Yeah,
it's scary.
And then you get the interactions of him and
the Iris.
Iris, Jodie Foster's character. Yeah. What Jodie Foster? Like, what an actress!
Great actress. Weird scenes.
Yeah, weird scenes. Totally weird scenes. There's a scene in the cafe where he's talking to her. It's so weird.
They're
isn't
all
it?
weird.
Yeah,
they don't feel right.
He's like he's at this stage he's changing. He's changing physically as well. Like his hair is starting to like I don't know. Like he's starting to cut it weird. It looks really weird from the start, and then he ends up giving himself a mohawk.
Yeah, no, he starts to change his appearance throughout the film to find the perfect moment.
We like glossed over that most iconic scene. It was you talking to me, which you get like all the time.
You're talking to me?
Yeah, like it's overused, and you know.
Yeah, which I'm like, oh, this is just a fun scene. When you go to the context, I'm like, oh no. This guy is losing his marbles.
Yeah. So then we're working up to the fact that he is planning an assassination attempt on a senator.
The senator, yeah.
Yeah, he's really trying to go incognito with the mohawk and the.
It's the worst, like disguise ever. And he tries to chum me out with the
Secret Service agent.
Secret Service.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing, my guy?
Yeah. So the Secret Service agent sort of sees him and then sort of chases him, and then he runs away. And then the next time you see him, he walks up to Harvey Keitel and just shoots him.
Yeah, because it's what happened is that his original plan didn't go the way he thought, so he just snapped. Yeah. He was like, I gotta take this guy out.
And then you get this famous shootout scene, very bloody and just everywhere. And then he goes up to Iris, and he's like, she's with a male companion. He like sort of attacks him, and then he goes to shoot himself. He goes to it didn't have any bullets. So then he sits. He's on the couch. He's like being shot a few times. And then the police come in and they go, what the hell is going on here? And then like he raises fingers to his head and pretends to shoot himself. But yet, like, there's a scene earlier in the movie where he uses a gun for the first time, where he stops a robbery.
Yeah, no.
And that sort of like fuels his fire as sort of like he's like a superhero.
Yeah.
And he's like taking down, righting wrongs.
And what this bit cleverly thinks, you think he's dead, and then you're seeing news clippings on like,
and then you're getting a voiceover
again. The voiceover of this letter by the parents of Iris, and as you see the clippings, you're starting to realize, oh, he not only he's alive, the media made him out to be a hero of this event. And, like, he stopped all these gangsters, and, like, he's this great guy. And so he's basically getting he's like, wow, he's the talk of the town, in a good way. And then...
So there's a lot of controversy through this movie. Like, one of the big controversies was that Jodie Foster was 12, and she's like, all these scenes, especially all these scenes, you get the controversy that the assassination attempt on Ronald Reagan, John Hinckley based himself on the character of Travis Bickle. You get the controversy of the ending where he's like seen as the hero, and a lot of people thought you should have just ended it with the police coming in. That's where you end the movie. You don't need all those other scenes.
I actually kind of like the fact they ended it with him being the hero, because that is more I don't want to say poignant. It's more like it's more of a reflection of like the times and these kind of character types that keep popping up, because these people continue to pop out through history, through different reasons and why, where they just, go on sprees. And
so
sometimes
this movie was nearly given an X rating.
Yeah, because of how
graphic it was.
Especially towards the end.
When it was premiered at Cannes, it actually got booed.
Yeah, okay, I see it.
To get the R rating that he needed to actually make for this movie to make money, he had to change the colour of the blood.
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
So he had to distort the film itself and blurred out scenes in the
nudie house.
Nudie house, yeah.
Yeah.
So like, it's just like I'll give you some of the review for Roger Ebert says. There has been much discussion about the ending, in which we see newspaper clippings about Travis's heroism of Iris, and then we get Betsy gets into his cab and seems to have this admiration instead of the early discuss. Is this a fantasy scene? Did Travis survive the shootout? Are experiencing his dying thoughts? can this sequence be accepted as true? I'm not sure there can be an answer to this question. The end of the sequence plays like music, not drama. It completes the story on an emotional, not literal level. We end up not on the carnage of redemption, but the goal of so many of Scorsese's characters. But Scorsese and Schrader said that this scene wasn't a dream sequence. This is actually what happened.
Yeah.
Because sometimes the villains of the story are put up on pedestals by the press.
Yeah. No.
And so that this was like a critique.
100%.
This was a critique of society at the time.
It happens, yeah.
What did you think of that Sybil Shepherd scene? It was very like disjointed, wasn't it?
Towards the end?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's... Yeah, that bit just... Yeah, I'm a little bit...
Yeah. It's funny how like Joker, those scenes that he portrayed with with Zazie Beetz in Joker, they were all not real. They were all a figment of his imagination. So a lot of people interpreted that the Taxi Driver was it. But in the director's commentary, Paul Schrader and Martin Scorsese both said that wasn't true. It was actually what happened.
Yeah.
Okay, let's give a rating for this movie. So, Reasons 2.
Reasons to see. It's a Scorsese classic, weirdly to say.
Yeah.
It is one of his, like film of. It's very referenced in pop culture, and it is a milestone.
Do you think this is like a box-ticking exercise? You just got to knock
this one... For me personally, yes.
It just feels that way. Like, I remember watching this movie as a kid and saying, like, oh, like, this was... Everyone kept saying, did you like Raging Bull? Yes. Well, you got to watch Taxi Driver. It's so good. But I found Raging Bull so much better.
No, Raging Bull's better.
Yeah, I just thought it was... Yeah. For me, reasons to see this movie... I like Albert Brooks. I thought he's funny. I don't know.
You also are not a fan of De Niro.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think the audience knows that.
The De Niro, he's just doing De Niro work.
It's been a tough couple of weeks for us on the AFI Top 100.
Back to back.
Yeah.
You need to spread them out.
Yeah.
Or not put him in it as much. But this film, there's no... It's hard to say reasons to do this film because the context of this film is not...
Yeah.
It's not an everyday taste. It is a film bro movie, and
100%.
I hate to say that it's like an incel movie. Like,
yeah.
I don't love it. Now that I know what this movie is, I'm like, I don't really want to, when I see, it's going to be a red flag for me when I'm like, Taxi Driver is one of your favorites. Oh, okay, that's on the list, brother.
If you go on a date with somebody and you ask them about their Letterboxd top 4, and they've got Taxi Driver in their Letterboxd,
Taxi Driver, The Last Picture Show. If you're putting these kind of movies on there, I'm like,
that's red flags. Yeah,
brother, I'm out.
Yeah,
like you can criticize me all you want.
I bet you if they put the next week's movie on that's a definite green flag. Okay, reasons not to see this movie.
Reasons not to see. It's pretty grotesque. I mean,
yeah.
The also the
uncomfortable nature of like Travis Bickle's a character.
Yeah, the subject matter is quite uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's not the most joyous film to watch.
Yeah, true.
It's more of a film you dissect than anything, and I don't most of the time.
Well, another one of the questions is, would you watch this movie again? Like, it's just not one of those movies that I will want to put on.
No.
Like, I hear stories like people saying, "Yeah, I'll watch this movie once a year." I'm like, what?
Why?
Do you want to be
Do you want to see society? You can watch society crumble if you put on the news.
You're right. It's a definite red flag movie.
Yeah.
That should have been your honest take. It should have been a red flag movie.
I know, because that's a whole list,
So we wouldn't watch this movie again. We wouldn't get it on Blu-ray.
Nope.
Do you think it deserves to be on the list? You know what I'm going to say? No.
I don't want it on the list, but I know why they put it on the list.
It's actually down 5. Which
but I can see it continuing to be on the list. But I can see it going down further.
Personally, I think Raging Bull is a lot more appropriate to be on this list. Although I understand why it's not, because you've already got a boxing movie on with Rocky. I do think that Goodfellas is a better movie than this, and I think if they do the next list, which I think they're going to do another list, I think Goodfellas will be a lot higher than Taxi Driver. That is just me personally.
That's your personally, because Goodfellas, similar thing where we're basically, I don't know, following a villain.
Yeah,
POV.
we're glorifying the mafia in that movie.
Yeah, which continues to be a theme in this list. Well, not just Scorsese.
He says he's not glorifying the Travis Bickles of the world, the Jake LaMarrs of the world.
It is giving them, but it gives them
a platform. Goodfellas, the Casino Guy, the Wolf of Wall Street.
But we can't be like, in a weird way. It's like, do we shy away? Because like sometimes these stories, I wouldn't say need to be told, but we need to an understanding.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. There's better. I think someone could have made a better version of this. I just don't particularly like this film.
Yeah, well,
there's a lot of good vibes to this film. Like the whole taxi driver idea is great. I just don't like the character and the story.
What would you give this as a rating?
I don't know. Like, I don't enjoy this film. So what do you want to put it as?
I hate this film. I dislike this film.
I don't like this film at all.
I think we just got to go with that gut. It's just not one of our films. Yeah, let's do it. Like, I know it's controversial and it's a lot of people's favorite movie, but I just don't like this film.
No, I don't like this film.
And like, out of all the movies that we've watched on the list, like, this movie is a drag to watch. Like, I found Deer Hunter far more appealing to watch.
Deer Hunter was more appealing. Yeah, Deer Hunter.
And Deer Hunter is like, it's a fake story about the Vietnam War, of Russian roulette.
Somewhat.
And we didn't like that movie, but it was I prefer it way more than this movie.
Yeah.
That movie's about friendship. It's about young guys,
post trauma,
young guys the baby boomers going to war to try and defend their second generation immigrants. Yeah. Like, there's so much more to say in that film than there is in this one, and I think
this film says a lot, but it's just not enjoyable.
And another thing is, I think Deer Hunter's.
It's not art.
I'm gonna say, this is gonna sound so stupid, but I think Deer Hunter's far well made than this movie.
Interesting. I think the bones of this movie are well made. I just don't particularly love the direction of the subject matter.
The pacing it's so slow.
The pacing is bad, and then the characters.
Yeah,
I feel like his descent to madness was too slow.
Maybe I just
it doesn't snap quick enough.
Yeah,
I don't know. There's something.
Alright, so that's it for today's show. Like, it's controversial that we're giving this opinion. Drop us a comment below what your thoughts. Maybe you like this movie. Maybe you can tell us why you like this movie. Maybe you can say something that might change our mind.
Yeah.
But you know what? Next week we've got a great movie.
Yeah.
We've got West Side Story, the original, starring the great
Rita Moreno.
Man, it's going to be a great week. And Hannah is really looking forward to that one. And then we are going to do our top 50 show. So we'll do the first 50 of the list.
Yep.
And then we'll follow it up with our 50th movie on the list, Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. So, good couple of weeks coming up here on Pete and Hannah's Watch List.
Yep.
Thank you, everyone, for listening and watching. We really appreciate the support. That is my lovely co-host, Hannah. Long live cinema. And until we meet again, it's bye for now.
Bye.